Hello and welcome to the Knitting Traditions podcast. My name is Inga and this is the little internet corner where I talk about my knitting. That was not what I usually say. Oh well. Trying to record outside on my balcony. Hopefully the wind doesn't mess with the sound too much. But I really wanted to record since it's not raining nonstop today. And I have some finished objects to show you. And yeah, settle in, grab yourself something to drink, and let's get started. So, since last time, I had finished this in the last episode, and I am wearing the simple bralette by Naked Knit, I believe, underneath. I'll show you everything but my nipples. It's got a ribbed border on the bottom. It's stockinette knit otherwise, and you do like a I-cordy sort of um, straps all over the shoulders. It's knit in the very thin cashmere thread from Knitting for Olive. So it's a very thin fabric, hence I'm not going to flash you. It's very comfortable. It's like a underwear garment. I wouldn't wear it on its own. But it works with the look at my holes from James & Watts. You can still hear me. The pattern uses an Excel sheet so that you can, for the bralette, uses an Excel sheet so you can modify your cup size to your cup size and the circumference of your rib cage as well. So I did the large size for the cups and then the extra small for the rib cage, and even a few stitches less than that for the rib cage, and I find that it sits okay, but with wearing it will stretch. So in the pattern it recommends you to put in an elastic thread on the top part and the bottom part of the ribbing. I haven't done that yet, but I might do it. However, this cashmere yarn is very thin, so I wouldn't want the elastic thread to show through. I have one of those elastic threads that you use for sewing that's just sheer, but I'm worried that that's not going to be enough to kind of hold it, so we'll see. It's an undergarment, so I don't mind if it's loose as long as it fits. And then another finished object since last time is this. This one I can show you. I haven't washed or blocked it yet, but I have worn it. This is the Ribba tee. I'll put the name of the designer on the screen, and everything is also linked below. Or it's not linked because my life is busy and I don't have time to do everything. But I write the names of everything I talk about below. And a quick Google search or Ravelry search, you should find it. But this is the Ribba tee. The designer is either Norwegian or Danish, I believe. It's a top-down false rib construction. It has very interesting shoulders. I used the Fibra Natura Papyrus, so it's very comfortable. I really used up all the yarn that I had. I made the sleeves longer. Ideally, I think I would have made full-length sleeves instead of a tee, because it's a bit of a heavier garment, but I'm happy with how it turned out. It's very comfortable. However, I find that this kind of construction is not very flattering on me. I really like raglan constructions, but I find that whenever it's a construction that sort of looks like a drop shoulder, it makes my upper chest shoulders look very wide. Not what I prefer. But yes, I finished this. What more can I say? I think I used the recommended needle. I have a bit more positive ease than the pattern recommended, just because I didn't want it to be super form-fitting. I wanted it to be a little bit loose. So that's the Ribba tee. And the other thing that I finished since last time is this test knit. That is the Pinassa sweater by xollawool. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that. The name is here. I was gifted the yarn from her to make this sweater. It's the recommended yarn in the pattern. It's a beautiful Spanish yarn. The fiber is from an endangered sheep breed in Spain. And I used the same colors as she did for her sample. I did the size 3. I wasn't able to get gauge. It was supposed to have a tight gauge on 3mm needles, but I just couldn't get a tight enough gauge. So I went down to a 2.75mm needles, and it still was a bit of a loose gauge, but I wasn't about to knit with 2mm needles because it was just very uncomfortable in my hands. And I still didn't get gauge, so mine is a bit looser of a gauge, not much, just a little bit. The sleeves are pretty much spot on because whenever I knit with small circulars, the 12-inch, my gauge is always tighter than on the bigger circumference needles. I don't know why, I just knit more tightly when I have a smaller circumference. So sometimes I accommodate and go up a needle size for the sleeves, but since I was already a bit too loose on my gauge, I decided to stick with the needle and I got gauge on the sleeves. And I'm happy I went with the size 3 because this is supposed to have positive ease, and it does. It fits really nicely. It's a beautiful colorwork yoke. I ran out of yarn probably because my gauge was on the looser side. So I wasn't able to knit the body all the way down in green. It's not supposed to have this on the bottom, but I used up all the green. I counted how much yarn I used for a row, and then I set aside enough of the green for 6 rows so that I could copy the colorwork section at the bottom here, on the bottom here, to kind of tie it together so it wouldn't just be a random white ribbing on the bottom, because I thought maybe that would look too much of a contrast. So I hope the sun is not in the lens or anything. But yeah, so I finished off with the white because I only used 1 skein of the white for the colorwork, and I was sent 2 white skeins for this size. So I used half of it on the bottom here and got the right measurements. So it's a really nice, cozy, warm sweater. It's very rustic, this yarn. I personally really like it. It has a very dry feel. If you're sensitive, it's not for you, but if you like rustic yarn, this is a really nice one. And it bloomed beautifully with washing. I left it overnight to soak and turned out really great. So yeah, this is the Pinassa sweater from xollawool. What would that be? The third and last finished object, or no, 1, 2, 4th. The 4th and last finished object since last time is, what's the front and back, is this sweater. This is min mote genser. It's a free Norwegian pattern online, and I knit this in a thick mohair Icelandic yarn. I'll put the name on the screen. That podcaster. I only had 4 balls of the blue, and I held it with the thin silk mohair from Sandnes garn. And I knew I was not gonna have enough yarn to finish this sweater because I had seen one in the store that gave me the idea, and it used 6. So I got 2 in the white color to compensate for the lack of blue because it just didn't have any more. And I held that with some stash silk mohair yarn that I had. So I knit the body first, and then I did the white rolled puffs here, and then I also did the neckline in the white, and then I bound off with the white. So yeah, I can maybe put over the finished object so you can see. When I finished this, I was wondering if this is maybe a little bit too cool for me. But if I'm going to some cafe or anything, maybe I can get a little bit dressed up with my knitting, and then this would be nice. It's very warm, I will say that. I can show you the Pinassa sweater. So yeah, this is really warm and cozy, and I kind of feel like wearing it for the rest of the podcast now. Because it's not well, it's warmer. It's above 10 Celsius, which it's been most of the summer, but it's still not very warm. I keep having to take talking breaks because things on my balcony is like flowing around with the wind. Sorry. This is all I have left from this project. Last bit of green and the natural looking, what's it called, this color. So the pastoreta in the color Fume. And I don't have the tag for the green color with me right now, but I did mention it in the previous podcast. So I think this pattern will be released soon. It hasn't been released quite yet, I think, but yeah, follow her on Instagram, xollawool. So this is the XOLLA, and probably she will let you know there once it's released. So let's get into the widths. Matthias is on holidays with his family in Iceland, and I am working shifts what feels like every second day, and these are 24-hour shifts. So I was really worried that I wouldn't be able to record because I've been exhausted. But the shift I had until this morning was quiet, at least in the night, so here we are. And really all I've been doing when I haven't been working has been knitting, just because I haven't really had the energy to do anything else. So I have done some finished objects as you've seen, and I also have worked on some widths. So this jacket is almost done. I was working on this before my summer holidays, and I had steeked it and done most of the work. It just needs the button bands. And since last time, I've done one of the button bands, or at least I've knit it. I've blocked it. It was too long, so I ripped back. I redid the length because it's supposed to be a bit shorter than the jacket. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach it to the jacket, and then it has this half of this is supposed to be sewn on the inside to kind of hide the cut edges. So I'll let you know how that goes, and then I need to do the other one as well that has the buttonholes, and hopefully I can knit them so that they align nicely and it's not like a floppy weird looking thing. If so, yeah, whatever. I'm gonna wear it anyways. It's gonna be warm and cozy and comfy, and if it looks a bit wonky, it's homemade. It's from this magazine, the Rauma Redesign Adult 243, and the color I've used is a very grassy green and a natural white. They don't have names, they have numbers. I've talked about them in previous episodes if you want the numbers, because I don't have them here. The jacket itself is the damejakke 7. It's the one that's on the back of this magazine. and I made the sides large. It's on 3mm needles, except the button bands, which are on 2.5. And I used rauma finull. Love that yarn for colorwork. Another whip that's been getting some attention is my half and half triangles wrap by Purl Soho. And of course, I'm in the middle of a row. No, I'm not. They just attached. It's almost done. I am using turmeric yellow and oatmeal gray, I believe. I've used this one for my lap blanket that I'm wearing here. I have only this much to go, but the rows are getting longer and longer, so it's quite a bit to go. It takes forever. The last part of this shawl is always what kills me, but I really want the finished product, so I'm gonna keep on knitting, and then I plan on casting on another. I used Purl Soho linen quill for this. It's a free pattern. I'm doing 230 stitches instead of 260, which is the large one. And honestly, I think it's going to be big enough. It's a knitting garter, so I can stretch it out bigger when I'm blocking if I want to. Because I knit with 230 stitches instead of the 260, I only use 2 skeins of the yellow instead of 3, and I have this much left of my second skein of the oatmeal gray. And so, yeah, if I continue doing this with the other Purl Soho yarn linen quill that I have, if I make this size again, I know that I can use 2 skeins instead of 3 and save money on yarn. But we shall see how I like the size in the end. But it's quite decent sized, if you ask me. And I'm knitting on 3.5mm needles instead of 3.25. Yeah, so slightly bigger needles. I've been knitting a little bit, just a little bit, on the Cumulus T by Petite Knit that I'm doing on 2.75mm needles. And I'm using the Bambino from Viking garn. And I am just trying to figure out how long I want it, and I am considering doing short rows in the front and back to give it like a sloped front and back. I think that would be really cute. I think this is either my 4th or 5th ball of yarn. I think it's my 4th ball of yarn. And I don't know how long I'll make the sleeves. Windy. This is a really lovely fabric. I'm loving this 50% bamboo, 50% cotton blend. And there was a sale yesterday, like a Norwegian online store, where they sold this for like $2. So I can make a t-shirt out of $10. And I've been wanting to get more of this. I'm sort of trying not to buy any yarn because I'm saving up for a car because mine broke down. But it was very affordable, and I know I want to make more with this in the future, so yesterday. And I feel like a storm's about to hit again. So yeah, this has gotten just a little bit of love. I'm keeping the sleeves on hold on like the Knitting Barber wires, and this one I think is from Petite Knit. It's just really easy to keep things on hold this way. Last whip before it starts raining, I just barely cast on a ranunculus using my, oh, it's a mess. I barely cast on a ranunculus using my knit crate yarn, and I'm about to start the sections of like textured knitting. And the yarn that I'm using for this was one of the knit crates that I got earlier this summer. I'm affiliate member, so they sent me a box of yarn every month to try, and if people use use my discount code or link below, then I get a little bit of money. This is the Uru yarn Asher. I think it's Asher, and it's the color Old Barn. And I just thought it was really beautiful. I am knitting it on, let's see, 6mm needles, so what the pattern tells you to knit it in. This is a cotton lyocell and linen nylon blend. It's a very summery chained yarn, and I'm really looking forward to have this. So I think I'm gonna cut this episode short today. I felt like I was rushing through it, but I just really wanted to record outside for you. It's very uncomfortable to sit on this. I feel like I can't sit straight because this bed is soft, which is really nice when you're knitting outside, but not the best for podcasting. Also, the wind is very annoying and it's about to start raining. Oh wait, I have one acquisition more. I have more. Can't stop without talking about this. So before my car broke down, I splurged on this beautiful yarn from the Knittingtraditions, which is a Swedish run business, and this is the color like a botanical garden. It's this really beautiful, cool foresty green to me, with a lot of specks of yellow and red and blues in it. So this is going to be a very comfy sweater at some point. I have enough to make a big sweater for myself, so that is what I'm going to make with it. And I was also very generously sent 2 project bags from Samantha. She runs the business Just Bold Prints, I believe her Instagram handle is. She also has a yarn store in the UK, and she uses different African fabrics and scraps to make project bags. And she sent me this really, really beautiful one. It's huge. It fits so much. There's like different prints inside. Her name is Samantha Hamilton, and she also included these gorgeous, colorful stitch markers. And I mean, these colors, I love these colors. She also sent this huge stunner of a project bag with a very retro, cute feeling, with these, what are these cars called? I think Volkswagen used to have these vans. I see a few retro versions of them on the road sometimes, and it was just so cute. And this will fit this beast of a project, so I'm putting this into here until I can finish the button bands and find some buttons. Yeah, I think that was everything, and I'm going to try to knit all the things. I don't know about you, but I have been wanting to cast on all the things. I have so many plans and so little time, and I just want to knit it all. I have a little time off in September, so I'm going on a holiday with my cousin, and hopefully me and my boyfriend will find a car before then, so we can both get to work when I'm back. And yeah, I'll try to knit with what I have, just so I can save a bit of money. And I wanted to do a little appreciation thank you to all of you who follow me. So I'm going to be doing percent off all of my patterns until the end of September. Is that too long? No. I'm going to do that until the end of September, because at the end of September we're starting a cal with woolly knit, and a lot of my patterns are colorwork patterns, and I think that woolly knit yarn, British wool, which is it's going to be a knitting cal for, or crafting cal for appreciating British wool, and I think a lot of that would be great for colorwork. So yeah, I'm going to do a little sale on all my patterns until the end of September if anyone wants to get some patterns. I don't have a lot of patterns. I don't consider myself a fancy designer. I have 3 cals, the Vikafjell, Zigzag, and Selbu. and I have a like a mitten pattern color work, which is called the Huldras mittens, and then I have 2 sock patterns. So put the link here. Is Knitting Traditions 30 too long? But I'll put the link, the name here for the discount code. So unless I can make it automatically discounted, I'll figure it out. I'll put it here. I'll put it below, and happy knitting. See you next time.